Can't beat a bit of mad ass on a Sunday. Right, so been drawing on it. Just came in. The first thing I've done was come through here and get a pen out and just start marking up some points. So this area here, it's high there, but there's a natural high in the panel. It already had one in. I did notice it when I was sanding it, but it wasn't that obvious because of the swage line that ran along there broke it up. But this bottom half of the spoiler there, below the swage line, is essentially triangular, so it gives you like a dip there as this comes around towards the light. So I want to take this down a little bit. It needs to come down there anyway at that point, but this bit's bugging us as well because it's creating this line to actually do that. It goes like that. I never expected that. I was kind of expecting it to be straight to there, but that bit has like a curve in it. There's no way I can get rid of it, and there's no way I'm like going to be filling it, but I think I can get this transition from this high spot that was already in the quarter there into that section there. I think I can get that better, and I've got to get that bit anyway. So I'll work that bit. That whole effect should look better. Along here I've got a ziggy-zaggy line because that's where my crest is. I need to bring the crest that way, that way, that way until that crest all lines up. It's just not quite right there. Right, so that's a line that's coming essentially from that panel there, and then there's another panel there, which obviously the spoiler section would have been sat on top, and then there's another panel there. So I'm going to take that line out. I'm just going to knock the top of it off until it disappears, obviously on both sides, because it's just like a tiny little interruption. I'll tell you what else I'm going to do as well. I'm like thinking about it. I think I'm going to fill this channel a little bit so it's not as deep. You know, just get a little seam of filler along the, just so it's a hell of a recess. It's really quite deep and quite sharp. So I'm de-sharpening things, and so I'm going to take that off because it's a sharpish crest. And I've knocked the top of this off a little bit, but I'm going to do it a bit more. I need to, once I've got everything leveled up, this is sitting a little bit high. It's sitting high there, but it's measuring right, so I need to adjust that and that crest there to meet that one there. I still need to get this to sit in a little bit as well. It's sitting out a bit. Got a bit of filler to put in there just to line that up, because this is where the clam's sitting now, and I just need to gap that a little bit just so it's not so tight. Obviously I've got my door gaps to do. A bit along the bottom there, I feel I've just made it a little bit too sharp, so I'm going to knock the crest off that. This bit here bugs us anyway. It's just, it feels, I don't know, like it shouldn't be that shape. It just feels like it needs to be more rounded. But also I need to do my bonnet pins before I do this section, but I want to make sure that this lines up. There's a step at the minute, it's not like quite right there, so I think I'm going to have to take off some surface there. Obviously I've got these edges to sort out down here, little returns to put on and make sure that everything's nice and square. Where I've lengthened them down, you'll see on the other side a bit better, and they're a bit straight, so I need to put a curve in them. Where I've filled this, to take the swage line out, you can see I've drawn a line there. I need to take that bit of meat off there. Got a little, not so nice bit in there. Same there. Well, that bumper's pretty much sorted, but I think that section there is going to actually be a little bit bigger because a little bit more meat in that bit there. I've got a bit too much of a crest on there, just need to roll that off a little bit. Same issue there, but not as bad. Just seems a little bit more meaty on the other side, so again, just going to take a bit of surface off it. Crest along there. It's not a lot, but I just want to soften it a little bit. It's just a little bit sharper than all the other lines. And again, crest along here into the door. This is sitting a lot better, but there's still a little bit of a high bit there, so I'm just going to bring that down. It's slightly high there, but right there needs a little bit of a tweak. Also along this line here, I'm going to build up along here because it's always been a minor bug this. That line there goes slightly up towards the front and then curves back down, so it creates a crest about here where really it should just be flowing down. So from about almost the back, it needs a tiny little fillet of filler along the bottom. I just want to get that a little bit better than what it is. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to take moulds of all this. This isn't going to be just a one-off car. I just want to get everything as right as can be. It was okay, but I think I can make it better. Same crack there, high spot there, same shape effect going on in there. This rear screen is out of an RS200, so as far as I know, it is a genuine screen. I'm guessing it was taken out because of this crack. This is thicker than the one that I had as well. So, and you can tell it's different as well, like the edges have been polished. It's not like rough cut, mind you, the cut on this isn't as nice as the ones that I get, so. But anyway, am I gonna cut up an original RS200 screen to put into this? Abso-fucking-lutely. So this is the cut that I do on the windows to alter the windows to get them to go in, because obviously I changed the shape of the window, again, because of lines and shapes and flow, and I think it's funny, you know, like, it still looks like an RS200. And I'm not trying to get rid of that. I'm just massaging it into something nicer. In my opinion, anyway. Right. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to get the wheels off, and I've got bonnet to bolt down because it's not. I'm going to look at the bonnet catches. Need to clear that so I can move the clam forward a little bit. Side skirts to move a little bit. Everything bolted up. And then once all that's bolted up, I can then start grinding and cutting and adding bits, and so kind of messing up the whole car, that like almost complete looking car that I've got here, and taking a few steps back, but it'll all be worth it. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, see, there's lots of ramps, isn't there? And you do a grind on there, look, you can grind all the way down there. And then there's a little half pipe here, look. Try going down there, like down that bit. You can see where I'm going, I've been going, there's a track forming. Right, it's now the end of the day, 7 o'clock. I'm going to show you what I've been up to. Now then, doesn't look like too much from here, but you can see there, I've been filling corners to bring those out. Took off the extra meat that was there, a little bit more to go actually there. Fibre filled it, and the gap at the front was bigger than the gap at the back because that was just a cut. But that was set off the hinge and there was a little bit of a gap. So originally on the old car there was more of a gap. But because of this here, it needs to be a tight gap, so I'm continuing that gap all the way along. I can't have it getting wider. So I've just built that up in there, also brought it forward so it meets the bonnet on both sides. Still got that crest to knock off there, but man, have I been knocking crests off. I bet you didn't think I was gonna go this far. So I've been building up the edge, getting that nice and tight, filled in that bottom bit there, and took this crest down here and going through there, so I'm going to have to build up some layers of fiberglass on the other side to do that. I've hit this crest along here a lot more. Once it was all in grey primer, you can see it, you see, and this is part of the thing that I was on about. I've had to bring that down there to meet up with that. This was sitting slightly fat, but I'm going to bring the door out slightly as well. It's like rolling off slightly, so I'm going to fill the back edge of the door. It's all right there, but it's in there. I can't take the side skirt in there, so I'm going to have to bring the door out. Got it sitting nice and levelly, and now I had too much meat on there with filling all this. It was just too much. I need to put the clam positioners in, but once that's like that, that's all sitting now pretty nicely. So a little bit more work to do in that area, and like I say, I need to bring that out as well, so all of those faces are all meeting each other perfectly. Obviously there's a little tweak to do in there, nothing too much. Got that tucked back there now, and that's flattened off up there. Haven't done that bit yet. Been working on these quarter panels. I was debating on whether to do it or not, but I don't think I'm going to get 100% get rid of it, but all I need to do is reduce the height of it to reduce this dip here, and at the same time I can fill that a little bit as well. So I've took quite a bit off there, so the other side I've took even more off. Now this side isn't looking as good as the far side, so I've actually hit this side with the grinder to take it off even further down, just to get rid of that meat that's on it. Probably still a little bit much there. Same here, took that back, created some holes, filled them, got a bit of fibre fill in there just to build that bit up there, so that's almost there. Now then, in here, got all sorts going on, because this side skirt wants to be, like if I lift that up and take the pressure off, it's going to go in again. It keeps on wanting to go in. And when I pull it out, it was under a lot more pressure. So what I've done is I've put a cut there, going in the way. But see how this is now sticking out, and I'm able to push it in like that? That's because I cut it all the way down there, and when it got to about here, it just popped out. So what I think's happened is when I've rebuilt this bit, it's pulled it in a couple of directions as it's dried, but this side skirt didn't want to be there, like there, even though that line's up there. Pressure wise, it wants to be there. So I've still got like quite a lot of fucking on in here to do to get this right. Obviously I'm gonna have to repair that, but with us doing this, it's essentially on the trestles and not on the car. It's cured in a shape that's slightly not right for the car, so I need to get it back into shape. At the front here, I've got that corner filled again, and the door gaps now are lovely. Need a little bit of build on that there, and I've took the crest, so the door actually flicked out the way at the front, so I've took that off because it was actually sitting further out than the bonnet, and there was no way I could get it further in, so I just took it off. It doesn't need to be there anyway. It was causing problems with the door shutting, and now the way I've got that, the door gaps are absolutely fantastic. Similar sort of crack here. I've got a bit too much meat in there though, so it won't sit right up there, but just need to sand that down. So yeah, I have completely attacked a car that looked almost finished, but it wasn't, you know. It was the first time it had been together, bolted together. You've got to remember that like last time this car was completely together, the bonnet was bolted to the side skirt, the bumper was bolted to the bonnet, the side skirt was bolted to the clam. So they were all tech screwed together to hold it all in place whilst I fiberglassed all the joins up and then cut the new cuts. It was never actually bolted together. Now that it is bolted, the front's fully bolted now, so that's like not moving, the bonnet's opening and everything. So, you know, now I'm able to work those areas there and get them, you know, going into the door nice, you know. So same with the clam. The clam's now fully bolted up and I can see how it's shutting down. The side skirts aren't fully bolted up yet, so I'm still like messing on with them, but that's not too much of a mission to do that. It's just I've got that other problem on the other side. So next time I'm in, I'll finish off getting the side skirts bolted up. I'll have to make some brackets for that, and I'll work that dodgy bit over there. These bits here where it's gone thin, I'm going to fiberglass from in behind it, put a couple of layers of fiberglass on, and then that'll be it nice and strong again. It's a little bit thin there as well, so I'll do the same there. Same on the other side. Been quite a day really. There's still a few little high bits that I need to tackle, but that's not my main thing at the minute. But yeah, quite a productive day really. Not here tomorrow. Got to go and clean the basement out. Megan says I have to clean the basement out, so I've got to clean the basement out. So yeah, good hit on it today anyway. Let's go and have a look at the other side before I press the stop button. Yeah, that's better.